Assalamu alaikum students, hope you are doing good. In the last class, we had a discussion on direct and indirect interventions by the government to influence the exchange rates. Under the heading of direct intervention, we had a brief overview of sterilized and non-sterilized interventions. This video will further facilitate you in understanding the concept of the sterilized and non-sterilized interventions. Let us first start with non-sterilized intervention. When the Federal Reserve intervenes in the foreign exchange market and is not adjusting for the change in money supply, it is referred to as non-sterilized intervention. And let us understand with the help of the example. If the Federal Reserve wants the Canadian dollar to appreciate against the US dollar, it will buy the Canadian dollars from the banks participating in the foreign exchange market. As a result of that, the government has created a demand for Canadian dollar, whereas the supply of the Canadian dollar in the market has not increased. That will enable the Canadian dollar to appreciate. As the government has bought the Canadian dollars using the US dollars, it has increased the quantity of US dollars supplied in the market. If the government is not accounting for the increase in quantity of dollars supplied in the market, it is referred to as non-sterilized intervention. Contrary to that, if the government intervenes in the foreign exchange market and simultaneously engages in offsetting transactions that will in the treasury market, it will be sterilized intervention. Let us understand that with the help of the example. If the Federal Reserve wants the Canadian dollar to appreciate, but it simultaneously wants the quantity of the US dollar to be in the market to remain the same, it will buy the Canadian dollars from the market using the US dollars. So here in the first step, the quantity of the US dollars in the market has increased. So the government will offset that transaction by issuing the treasury securities of same value that it used to buy the Canadian dollars to the financial institutions that invest in treasury securities. As a result of that, the excess US dollars that are being supplied to the market were again returned to the Federal Reserve, as the Federal Reserve has issued the treasury securities. Let us understand that example. If the government wants to the American dollar to appreciate against the Canadian dollar, what will the first step the Federal Reserve will do? It will buy the US dollars from the market, or it will sell the Canadian dollars in the market. As a result of that, the government has bought the US dollars from the banks participating in the foreign exchange market. The quantity supplied of US dollar has decreased in the market. If the government is confined to only appreciating the US dollar against Canadian dollar and not worries about the quantity of US dollar in the market, it will be referred to as non-sterilized intervention, just like in the previous case. In sterilized intervention, what will the government do? The Federal Reserve will sell the Canadian dollars in the market and will buy the US dollars. As a result of that, the quantity supplied has reduced in the market. So what will Federal Reserve do to increase the amount of dollars supplied in the market? It will buy back the treasury securities from the financial institution that invest in treasury securities. As a result of that, the government is taking the certificate of treasury securities, and against that it is paying the US dollars to the financial institution. So that transaction will again be offset, as the dollars used to buy the Canadian dollars, which has reduced the quantity of money supplied in the market, are again returned to the market by buying back of treasury securities by the Federal Reserve. I hope that this video will clarify the concept of sterilized and non-sterilized intervention. If you still have any problem, we can discuss that. Till then, take care, stay safe. Allah Hafiz.